At the start of 2025, just after The Rock had made friends again with Cody Rhodes, but before Jey Uso had won the Royal Rumble and John Cena had turned heel, Luke and I predicted WrestleMania 41 way too far in advance. And now we're going to go back and revisit those predictions and see how 100% accurate we've been.
I get the feeling that we're going to be pretty way off on a lot of these. I can't remember what we'd predicted, but I do remember some of them, and I think we got a lot of them wrong.
Well, I don't think that's on us, because if you cast your mind back to the start of 2025, Raw had just debuted on Netflix, and it felt like most of the creative energy was on building blow-off matches for that. We had the Roman Reigns Solo Sikoa thing, we had CM Punk Seth Rollins. But as far as, like, who's going to main event WrestleMania, we had no idea.
Well, particularly with Jey Uso winning the Royal Rumble. And that was a proper, like, outside choice because people thought it was either going to be, well, what are the stars? They thought it was going to be a CM Punk or a John Cena or a Roman Reigns or a Seth Rollins. I think no one had Jey down. To go in that direction. But on the morning of, I did have my
you had your shower moment.
Thing in the shower where I was like, I think they're going to do Yeatlemania, but I did not think he would win the Royal Rumble. I thought it was never in a month of Sundays that I think that Jey was going to win the Rumble.
If I can cast my mind back, I think I'm like, well, of course they're going to do CM Punk and Cody Rhodes. That felt like a direction they were going in. Or maybe Roman Reigns, because there was the favor with Paul Heyman. That dynamic was still there.
I think we probably did have Cody and Cena because I was like, Cena's going to win the Rumble.
You wanted that, yeah.
Yeah. I really thought that Cena was going to win the Rumble. So
I think I was Punk heavy. But also, we thought that The Rock was just going to go away for a bit, because he weirdly turned up on the Raw Netflix debut, went, hey, I'm a good guy now, but me and Cody and his mum and my mum, we all hang out, we're best friends now.
But then he
happened off screen.
I think, well, the mum stuff was in the other promo. I think the first promo was just like, hey, we drink vodka together. And
no, Am I Sinbad?
I think you mixed up the two promos. I don't think he did talk about the mums in the first one. I think he only talked about the mums in the second promo.
Okay, we just had a tequila and a thing and all that stuff.
Exactly, yeah. We drink vodka together, we drink tequila together. He's carried this company for the previous year. Look, there he is in the crowd, that jabroni over there.
Yeah.
I'm the star in the middle of this ring here. And then he showed up on Netflix. I was like, you idiots! I'm clearly telling a story, you marks!
But we all thought, oh, that's the sign that The Rock is not going to have anything to do with WrestleMania.
Yeah. I've been said on the live reaction today with Dan, I think you and I said it on the review afterwards, he's not going to be wrestling at WrestleMania. I didn't think he'd be at WrestleMania at all.
So this card that we're going to go through, this was me and you going through all of the roster and trying to book both nights of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And we came to this as a collaborative decision.
We did.
We also did another non-reacting show, a sort of prediction show. We predicted WrestleMania 41 way too far in advance, the week after WrestleMania 40.
Sure did.
April 2024. Me, you, and Pete sat here, and we did that. And we'll be doing that on the Patreon version. So patreon.com/WrestleTalk. You can watch that right there.
And now. So, are you ready?
Are you ready? It's not about me, guys.
Stop trying to make it about me, because I just want to sit behind my desk, not have any cameras on me apart from this one camera that films everything I do. But apart from that, I don't want anything.
Some people are calling it the Paul Levesque era. Who is? the other people than me.
Fine, I'll go in the Hall of Fame.
My wife, I guess. Yeah, she's saying it. All the people I pay.
So, are you ready? Because I've got the sheet here.
So this is night one opening match.
Shout out to Brandon, who went through this. We didn't actually go to the video ourselves to get this list together. We wanted Brandon to look at it and write it down for us so that we can come to this completely surprised.
Yeah.
And here we go. The opener on night one for the Women's World Heavyweight Championship is a three-way with Rhea Ripley.
Yes.
Versus Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair.
Okay.
I think because we thought Charlotte's going to win the Rumble. And we thought they would do Charlotte and Rhea. And if I remember correctly, we then didn't have anything for Becky to do, so we just put Becky in this match.
Yeah, because Becky, she kept on being rumoured for a return. There was that report she was planned to return on the Raw Netflix debut. but The Undertaker wanted to give Rhea a lift home on his motorbike instead.
And then it turns out she was never planned for that Raw debut. And then it's like, oh, she'll be at the Royal Rumble. And then it turns out she was never planned for the Royal Rumble. And then it's like, oh, she'll be on the road to... Turns out she's got no WrestleMania plans either.
Oh, but Raw after Mania.
And then it'll come out there were never any plans for her to be on the Raw after Mania.
And then she'll just show up in AEW. Okay, well, we also thought, Rhea, she's a Raw championship person. We figured, well, she's just won the title from Liv, and she's going to go into a high-profile program, probably with a returning Charlotte or Becky.
And we'd figured that Charlotte was going to return and win the Rumble, because she'd already been announced that she was returning for the Royal Rumble, and we were like, well, there's no other person who can win this Royal Rumble, it'll be Charlotte Flair. And I wonder if our logic behind this was... Well, if Cena's going to win the Rumble going after Cody, who's a SmackDown guy,
yes,
Charlotte will need to go for a Raw title, so one of the Rumble wins can go for a Raw title. And actually, in the end, I suppose both of them have gone for SmackDown titles. It's just a lot of the build for Cena and Cody is happening on Raw.
And that was one of our big mistakes, and I think it will happen more, is that we assumed there would be a brand split on the road to WrestleMania.
Match 2. And I blame myself for this one.
Is this one you pushed for?
This is 100% not you. This is all me. For the Intercontinental Championship, it's Bron Breakker versus Sheamus.
Yep, and what did I keep saying? What did I keep saying? They're never gonna do it!
I know. Oh, well, much in the same way that I don't think Chad Gable is ever going to be treated as a serious wrestler, I'm now coming to this realization that maybe they're just not going to do the Sheamus thing. Even though they were telling that story on TV for a good few months and then just didn't do it, and now Sheamus hasn't been on TV. Was he even in the Rumble?
Yeah, I think he had a spot with someone. But we've watched so many different Rumbles. Could that just be 2011? I don't know anymore. I think a couple of years' time... B-level pay-per-view show. It's the Clash in Dublin.
Yeah.
Right? And that's where he wins his missing Intercontinental title on his Infinity Gauntlet. Don't think they're going to... No offense, Sheamus. I want it to happen at WrestleMania. I don't think in WWE's eyes they're going to waste that WrestleMania moment on Sheamus.
No, instead we're looking to get a 4-way for the Intercontinental Championship, because what this... card needed was more multi-man matches.
Oh, it's WrestleMania 2000.
So I take full blame for that one.
Yeah, so the reported 4-way is Braun versus Penta versus Finn versus Dom.
Yeah. So match 3, it is a 6-man tag.
Ugh, why have we done that?
Well, I think you'll see why when I reveal...
Because we didn't know what to do with the tag?
No. I will reveal that when I reveal who one of the teams is, and you'll immediately know why that you pushed for this.
Oh, sorry. Do you mean 6-man tag as in a trios match?
Yes.
Oh, because I hear 6-man tag, and I think last year's WrestleMania.
No. That is a
12 dudes in the ring.
That is a 16
yes. Okay.
match. This is a 6-man tag. Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens, and Seth Rollins versus Randy Orton, Jey Uso, and Sami Zayn.
That's the better match.
This is your long...
It's Shield.
It's your long reported, and not reported, but long theorized sword group that was going to come together out of their shared hatred of CM Punk and Roman Reigns.
And a bit of Cody as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Which I still think's a good story. And you know what? We've got Randy's on the other side there.
Yep.
So he's feuding with Kevin Owens. That's still going on. Sami Zayn, it came close. Sami and Owens had the match at Elimination Chamber. Mm-hmm. I don't think I'm a million miles away there. I'm willing.
I'd say we're pretty far off on this, because Drew, Seth, and Kevin Owens did not become a faction.
I'm willing, if you are,
Seth
to give me credit here. I think that's more in line with reality than Sheamus winning the IC title.
I think they're equally as wrong. For match 4, we've got written there brackets, possibly TLC, for the Raw Tag Team Championships. New Day versus Judgment Day versus the War Raiders.
Oh, because the New Day were really good in mid-January. They were pretty much still kind of fresh off the heel turn angle.
Bloom had not completely fallen off the rose in mid-Jan. I think we probably were saying, like, I mean, they're not on TV a lot, and they've not done a lot of follow-up to this. But, hey, we'll put them in this tag team match here. We've got, the War Raiders as the champions. They hadn't won the tag belts at this point.
We called that, I think.
Well, maybe
That's
they're not.
good.
Maybe they're not the champions going into this match. But we've got Judgment Day. I'm going to presume as Finn and JD. Obviously, this is pre-JD getting injured.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I remember coping with the New Day stuff. Like, oh, okay, well, you didn't want to... The Raw Netflix debut, that was just kind of a weird one-shot episode. New Day, they're by the Royal Rumble. We'll have a big direction for them. But we didn't book Big E.
So, no, we didn't. Actually, that's a good point. We didn't book
So
Big E.
we didn't believe that Big E was coming back.
Because I then think I switched to being like, it'll be New Day versus Ray and Big E in a tag match. I think that was the new direction I went in. I've actually got a different direction, different prediction. And I think, because obviously this has not been announced yet, maybe we will be onto something with New Day and War Raiders, because New Day on Raw said we want a shot at the tag titles at WrestleMania. So maybe they could do a multi-man match, and I think I know who one of the teams might be. I think it's going to be War Raiders versus the New Day versus the LWO, or maybe even American Made in there.
Yeah.
Versus Chad Gable and El Grande Americano.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
You booked. That's perfect.
And that I thought of that this morning, and I was like, I wonder if that would be a WrestleMania match.
Yeah, and that's the big reveal. Wow. I love it.
Yeah. More on that on a different show. Anyway, match 5. I'm going to guess this is for the Women's Tag Team Championships, although we have not written this here. We have got Piper and Chelsea Green.
Yep, they're a good act still. The Secret Hervis.
Versus Nia Jax and Candice LeRae.
Nia Jax has kind of just disappeared off TV.
Versus the Kabuki Warriors.
Asuka's still injured. Kairi Sane is also injured.
Versus Liv and Raquel, who we did predict were going to be the Women's Tag Team Champions going into WrestleMania.
And they are the Tag Team Champions right now.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's...
And I think we are going to get a multi-woman tag match for the tag titles.
Because it's WrestleMania 2000.
It's WrestleMania 2000.
On the 25th anniversary.
And I think that Nia and Candice will be one of those teams.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think that's half wrong.
It's not Drew, Kevin Owens, and Seth teaming up.
No.
But we're pretty close there.
And the main event of night 1 is CM Punk versus Roman Reigns.
Well, that's actually the closest we've come, because we are only one Seth Rollins off a 3-way there.
Absolutely we are. Yeah. I'd say that is... Of the night 1 predictions, considering that we don't have an announcement for the Raw tag titles or the women's tag titles yet, I think this is the closest we've gotten so far.
Yeah, particularly, I can see how we came to that, because there was the Survivor Series angle, there's the favour with Paul Heyman, and after that Netflix debut Raw, it felt like Punk had finished with Seth, that was the end of their feud, and Roman had finished with Solo. The reason to clear up those two bits was so Roman and Punk can start on this collision course over Paul Heyman.
Mm-hmm. And we booked it as the main event as well, with no titles on the line.
No titles on the line. Yeah. And then how are we to know that Seth would still be around? Seth, the third wheel in 2 years of WrestleMania back-to-back.
Hey, someone's had a go at us saying he's the backbone of this company and that we should show him more respect. That's why he's in these positions.
Yeah. Oh, no, I don't doubt that. But he is also the third wheel.
I'd say he's always the least interesting thing in any feud that he is a part of, when there are more than just him and another guy.
I correct myself as well for Seth. He was the fourth wheel last year.
So, before we get into night 2...
Oh, yeah, Patreon plugs. Patreon.com/WrestleTalk. So we said at the start of this video, we didn't just do one predicting WrestleMania 41 way too far in advance. We did 2, because the other one was even more way too far in advance. We recorded it the week after WrestleMania XL.
And I can remember 2 of the matches that I booked. One of which was the thumbnail for the video, so I remember that one. And the other one was my big YouTube tag team match that I think I had Mr. Beast as a part of with Simon Miller.
Yeah, and Logan Paul versus whoever.
If I remember correctly, and I might be wrong on this, I think it's Logan Paul and KSI versus Mr. Beast and Simon Miller.
Brilliant. I am pretty sure I had. I think because the Usos versus the Rhodes,
you did, yeah.
I think that was a SummerSlam prediction.
Oh, I think so, because that might have been the thumbnail we picked for that one.
Yeah, because back then that was when we're like, well, Dustin is going to go to WWE when his AEW contract expires. This was April 2024, remember? I think I was booking New Blood versus OG Bloodline. Which took place in Crown Jewel.
At War Games.
Yeah, War Games.
Yeah. So that's patreon.com/WrestleTalk. You can click the link in the video description down below right now and go and watch that video after this one.
But yeah, let's do night 2 of WrestleMania 41 predicted in January 2025.
And I have no idea how we got to this one, but our opening contest is Rey Mysterio versus Dragon Lee. How did we arrive at... Oh! I think... No. I think that we did Rey Mysterio versus Penta, but we didn't have a Penta PNG, so we just put Dragon Lee in his place. That's what we did.
So we booked Rey Mysterio versus Penta?
Yes, but Brandon didn't... Just saw at the end, we booked Rey Mysterio versus Dragon Lee.
Okay.
I feel less thick about that one.
And... That they teamed together? Didn't they tag? Have they tagged
no,
together?
but they
were going to.
They started the Rumble. They were number 1 and number 2 in the Rumble, and then Penta eliminated himself and then stayed in the Rumble for a bit longer.
Well, that's from another time when WWE would only book Latinos against other Latinos.
And we also thought that is the dream match. If you could bring in Penta into WWE, do Penta versus Rey, that for me is a money match. What we didn't factor in though was El Grande Americano overtaking Penta in the Lucha Stakes.
Well, he's a legend. In the sport.
Match 2, Bianca Belair versus Jade Cargill. And that's why we put the tag belts on Liv and Raquel, because we're like, well, we're going to get them off the Powerbuff Girls because they're going to face each other at WrestleMania. I could not have foreseen that Bianca was going to win the Chamber and kind of remove herself from this Jade storyline for a little bit. So it's going to be Jade and Naomi. Presumably it's going to be Jade and Naomi at WrestleMania. Yeah, you got to think so, as a grudge match sort of thing. Yeah. Pretty quick, I reckon that'll be, if I can make a not too far in advance prediction. But yeah, that's so we predicted this a month before, 6 weeks before Jade made her comeback at the Chamber. Yeah. Because she was out mysteriously since November time. Yeah. And we all just thought, well, Naomi's definitely done it. I think a lot of us were pushing, me certainly, that Bianca was actually the mastermind. I was too. But they did not go in that direction. Well, for now. Yeah, I think Jade was out with a serious case of the backstage heat. Bit of the Shayness. Just kept her on the shelf for a little bit. Match 3 for the United States Championship. It's another multi-man match. It's not just Triple H who's looking at WrestleMania 2000 at the template, as we have got, and this might not be that far off, Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu versus LA Knight versus Shinsuke Nakamura. So we may be close to this direction if we're going to go with Jacob Fatu and LA Knight. For maybe Jimmy Uso in there as well. And maybe a Braun Strowman in there. Or maybe it will be a Solo Sikoa and they'll just literally mirror what they're doing in the IC title picture where two members of the same faction are fighting over the same title. I want to find Paul Levesque's email address. I might just type paul.levesque@wwe.com. It's a good guess. And send him the exact passive-aggressive email he sends us on WWE 2K25 MyGM mode. Or you might want a bit more variety on your cards. It's all multi-man matches. For the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, I think this was we're going to do our TLC match. And again, we might not be too far off the mark with this one. We've got the Motor City Machine Guns versus DIY versus Pretty Deadly. This was but it's more of a Profits. Well, this is because the Profits weren't back yet. The Profits return at the Royal Rumble. So it could be a fatal four-way with those teams. So we were sort of on the money, but we were missing the Profits. Montez Ford around that time was doing loads of interviews as well. Like, I'm frustrated, I'm sick of all this. Dawkins was walking around with a crutch. Yeah. Because he was like on Rumble, on the Rumble day, was doing media on the crutch to throw people off that they were actually cleared and ready to return.
Good working.
Very good working. Match number 5. This is a sign of the times.
A sign of the times 10 weeks ago.
The Final Testament and The Miz
Oh, no.
versus Wyatt Six.
Oh, jeez. So 3 of the people involved in that are no longer with the company? So AOP and Paul Ellering.
Yeah, but I suppose we didn't have Ellering in the match. We had it as, well, we would have had Final Testament, so Karrion Kross, AOP and The Miz as 4 versus Uncle Howdy, Eric Rowan, Gacy, and the other one that I'm missing.
Dexter Lumis.
Dexter Lumis.
Or you could have just had Karrion Kross and Miz in the tag match, and then you'd also just have Eric Rowan and Dexter Lumis as the other side, and it can be a match with 20 managers at ringside.
I actually forgot we did women in there as well. We had Nikki Cross and Scarlett on the Final Testament side of things.
That works well. Just like the previous year Final Testament Pride match, which went so well, where Scarlett wrestled B-Fab.
Yeah. Little did we know that Wyatt Six have not been on TV, I think, all year.
Howdy's injured.
Yeah,
Bo Dallas is injured.
Yeah, Bo Dallas has been injured. And Alexa Bliss is now back because she wasn't, about this time. Actually, she didn't run this time.
Yeah,
Reports were that
yeah.
she was definitely not going to be coming back because she hadn't signed a new deal yet. And there were no Bliss in the Wyatt 60s. Having said that, Alexa Bliss hasn't been seen on TV since Chamber either. So maybe none of them will be on WrestleMania. We don't know. For the WWE Women's Championship, I've got a feeling this is a bit of you, this one, as Tiffany Stratton defends against Io Sky.
Oh! Pretty close, though.
Is it?
I mean, if you take the 2 women's title matches, I've got half of them.
Yeah.
And you know what? If you just look at the women's titles, Io Sky, Charlotte, and Stratton, we've booked them all in the top title matches.
That's actually true. So
And Ripley.
So we've got Ripley, Sky, and Stratton, and Flair. So all we're missing is a Bianca Belair, and we would have completed the set. We've just got them in sort of different combinations.
And we had an extra Becky.
Yes. Which, we could have replaced with Bianca, but maybe we misspelt and we just went to a different B.
Yeah. So this was also before the end of the transfer portal closing. So we also didn't talk.
Really?
Yeah. Because I went back and checked this recently. The transfer portal ends, I think it's the Raw after the Rumble.
Wow.
Am I right? Well, it definitely hadn't closed by this point. So we didn't know the Wyatt Six were going to move to SmackDown, which is why we've still got them feuding with Miz and Karrion Kross.
And because that transfer portal splits up the Miz and Final Testament act, which I think is a real shame. I was really enjoying that.
And I think I just assumed maybe we thought Io's going to move over to SmackDown.
I think we were pushing definitely for Io Sky to do something. I think I wanted her to win the Rumble.
Yeah.
I think this was my heart pick. My head knew that Flair was winning, but I really wanted Io Sky to win the belt. But I would have thought I'd have done Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley because that's the match I'd been talking about since early Jan.
Oh, I know what it is. Sorry, this is me. I really enjoyed the women's elimination chamber.
Exactly what it is.
War Games match.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
I was the only person, I think, who enjoyed. Me and Sat were the only people on the planet who enjoyed the women's War Games match. And that was largely because of the work between Tiffany Stratton and Io Sky. They had loads of cool spots, the chief one being when they both did their trash can dive for Io and best moonsault ever thing for Tiffany off the top of the cage. And I was just like, well, that's obviously setting up your Mania main event.
Which brings us to the main event for the WWE Championship. Cody Rhodes defending against John Cena.
We did it! We got it.
We got
that was
one of them.
weird that you shook and I kind of high-fived it down. And then we shook. Is that a new sort of handshake?
It's a new one. I like it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I think this one was written in the stars, A Million Miles Away. Is that song.
What song?
That song is one of the WrestleMania themes. Written in the stars, a million miles away. Oh.
WrestleMania. WrestleMania.
I had John Cena to win the Rumble. So I was like, John Cena wins the Rumble and he faces Cody Rhodes because it's John Cena's last WrestleMania. You've got to do this right. He should be in the main event challenging Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship.
And there was me pushing, because this is a you pick and also the only exactly right one we've got. That I was like, he shouldn't win the Rumble. He shouldn't win the Chamber. He should face Logan Paul at Mania or something.
Oh yeah, we've got no Logan Paul on the show at all. Or AJ Styles.
Yeah, well, he was injured, wasn't he?
AJ, I think
AJ comes back in the Rumble.
Does he get his theme and then he gets transferred to Raw? Is that how it worked?
No, I'm pretty sure when we made these predictions, AJ had just suffered that foot injury.
Yeah, I think you're
and
right.
it seemed worse than we thought,
Yeah.
obviously. Yeah, because he came back even bigger than before. Funny how that works.
So yeah, of the 10 matches that we predicted before the Royal Rumble, we got one of them exactly right. But I would say that we were on the path for a few others. That I would say there's only a handful of clunkers in there. White Six and Final Testament, I could say, is a clunker. And I'll take the blame for this one. Sheamus and Braun Breaker. The rest of them... Oh, I'm sorry, I've missed a match. I've realised I've missed a match.
Well, on what night?
On night one, for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Oh, Jesus, the Gunther match.
Gunther versus Logan Paul.
That's pretty good, isn't it? Did we actually book that?
We did. We've written that down as match 6.
That's really fun. How did we come to that? I feel like Gunther...
I'll tell you how we came to this. If I remember correctly, this is how we came to it. It was one of the last things we did, and we had no one to face Gunther.
So much of that process was us trying to match up. Yeah, but we've got to get this person on the card. Who can they feud with?
Yeah.
Which I think is how Triple H books WrestleMania as well.
And so we just put Gunther down and we're like, who's left?
Yeah.
Oh, Logan Paul. That's a fun one.
That feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Gunther, Dominic Mysterio, but Logan Paul can jump off things.
And I think we got to that because you wanted to do Cena and Logan Paul. And because I was pushing for Cena and Rhodes, that freed up Logan Paul to do our Gunther match.
So, in terms of main events, Cena and Cody is definitely going to main event night 2 of WrestleMania.
Absolutely.
There's a chance that Seth, Punk, and Roman will main event night 1.
Agreed.
Which means we've pretty much predicted the main events of both nights of WrestleMania.
And
just Lewis, Seth Rollins, which you should be able to do 3 months out from a WrestleMania.
And we got pretty much all of the women right for the women's tag title for the women's title match. I think we'd predicted Liv and Raquel winning the tag titles and defending them in a multi-woman match, which, although not confirmed yet, I think is probably going to happen, likely with Bayley and Lyra as one of the teams. We got the SmackDown tag titles with those teams.
Yeah, that's pretty solid. US title as well.
Yeah, I think we did all right,
Yeah, considering the state of things in January, and also don't go back and watch the video because you've heard it all now. We did predict Cena was going to turn heel as well.
I was going to say, considering that we did this with not a lot of information in front of us, and also having the handicap that it's us doing it.
Yeah, and The Rock.
I think we did all right.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for joining us here on what is this? Reacting to WrestleMania 41 predictions way too far in advance. Hey, now go over to patreon.com/WrestleTalk because we are doing the same thing, but to predictions we made 9 months earlier.
In April 2024.
Several days after the end of WrestleMania 40, we tried to guess all the things that would happen in the next year.
See, I think we might have done all right,
Okay. Patreon.com/WrestleTalk and go and watch our video that this is based on by clicking the video on screen now.